What's up, everybody? Welcome back. The UFC 305 post show is here. I'm your boy, Kyle DiOrio, with my lovely, beautiful, sexy partner.
Robert Dylan Vasquez, what's up, guys?
Dude, UFC is back on track with a really good pay-per-view after a slump in entertainment quality since 300, which was expected. Not last month, but
It's about time, dude.
this card was really good. This one was a lot of fun. A lot of good fights, a lot of knockouts or finishes or whatever. Some odd finishes we'll talk about. It was overall, it was a good card.
Shout out to, what was it? It wasn't the main event of the prelims, or was it? Junior Tafa?
That was the main event of the prelims.
Okay, so
Odd finish there.
very, very. Some, people have their parlays on stuff like this, and when the ref steps in, we've said it before, the ref is literally just trying to look out for the fighter.
Yeah, it's like the hardest job.
But you're ruining lives, bro. You're ruining lives, bank accounts, rent money.
You really are. And this one's not even a bad. I think this was 100% in the ref's view, the right call. The guys are in a heel hook, and they're starting to turn kind of this way, away from the ref. Right? Junior Tafa screams in pain, and he kind of like. I think he was trying to like hand fight, but it kind of looks like a tap at the same time, and you're turning away from the ref. Calls it, said it's over.
Which, if you don't know the rules, you can verbal tap. Sometimes you're you're pretzeled up where you're like, so if you're like, anything vocal like that or verbal, they're going to call the fight. So I remember Charles Oliveira, shout out to Charlie Olives. He had Tony Ferguson in an arm bar.
Yeah,
just
dude. Hyperextended. Fucking bent all the way back.
And you see Tony, he's like, but he's not like tap, 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 tap. He's
grimacing.
That's
totally screaming.
Totally different than
It's Junior Tafa. Like he screamed in pain.
Dude.
I
So
want to stop the shit too.
all you're doing is looking out for the best interest of the fighter. You're talking about, okay, I tap and I'm back in there in 90 days, after a short fight camp, long fight camp, doesn't matter. If you tear anything in your legs, you're out for 8 months to a year and a half. So you should thank him for being as protective as the ref could have been.
And then there was a little scuffle at the end. Some words were exchanged, which I never could have heard or really could make out. And then Junior hits him with a little smack to the face.
By the way, I'm glad you brought that up. If you are feeling heated in that moment, do you know where you can go? There is a thing after every single event called the Fighters Hotel. Do you know why, Kyle, it's called the Fighters Hotel?
No.
Because that's where all of the fighters stay. Except for a couple. There are exceptions, like Colby Covington, or anybody else that none of the other fighters... It's like...
if you're like really hated.
Solitary confinement or some shit like that. Like they'll put you up, down the street, but for the most part, it is called the Fighters Hotel because that's where everybody's staying. Nate Diaz, Masvidal, they're staying in the same place, different floors, whatever. You know where I'm staying. Why you doing this in the ring right now? Like when that
cage.
Like who's Abraham Lincoln at 205? The one that I always talk mad shit about. Ankalaev. When him and Johnny Walker were going at it after the bell or whatever. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You know where I'm going to be staying after. Let's just go there. Not condoning street violence or anything like that. But you want to have this conversation now while everybody can hold you back? No, let's meet up. Come on. And so I think that was a bad thing to do. I think it was a shitty thing to do. Oh, I lost, but it's really the ref's fault, but I'm going to get on you about it. I understand emotions are flying high. I don't know what it's like to be in there right after a frustrating loss like that. Meet me at the Fighters Hotel. That's all I'll say about that.
I get being upset with the call if you really didn't tap or whatever. I still am not 100% positive he didn't tap, because it was that kind of unclear. But you can't do that, man. You look like a fool. And even DC Clown, you said, "Oh, you want to do that now?" You had the chance a couple minutes ago, and you
Yeah.
tapped.
Yeah.
You can't. You lost, brother. And also, honestly, the biggest shock to this fight for me, I never looked at Walter Walker's lineage or his country. I had not looked. So
Yeah.
him being Brazilian blew my fucking mind. I thought he was like Russian or like
Sure.
Ukrainian or something. Look at the guy. And it's Johnny Walker's brother.
Is it really?
I didn't know that until just now.
Yeah, I have no idea. Or I had no idea.
Oh, that when he was talking about Junior wanting to get at my brother or whatever, he kept mentioning brothers and stuff. I was like, I didn't know what was happening in that ring during that fight, but it was an interesting way to end the prelims.
Sure.
Without a doubt.
I don't know if it would have psyched me up to go into a main card, but I told you this. I was watching simultaneous castings or whatever. Simulcast. I was watching the CJI, Craig Jones Invitational. I was watching Jiu-Jitsu and the end of the prelims, start of the main card at the same time. So I was combat sports Saturday ready, dude. I was hyped
and cocked.
I was hype. So going into the main card, you have this fight that I think our boy Li Jingliang, the Leech, is gonna just come out and do his thing. I was ready.
We were locked in on the Leech. We weren't as familiar with Protez as we should have been. But we are now.
Should have been.
This man pieced Li Jingliang up for the 2 rounds that it lasted. Leech didn't have any defense. His hands were like here or even here.
He usually doesn't have to, though, because he comes out there and he's dipping and moving like that. It's like, okay, and then he just got caught and dropped and caught and dropped
multiple times. Protez dropped him. He did bounce up every time except for the final one. But the knockout, dude, it didn't even look like that hard of it wasn't like, I'm not going to say it wasn't a hard punch, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. But in video, it didn't look like it was this like haymaker bomb. But Li Jingliang was out for like 60 seconds, 2 minutes.
Still asleep.
He was laying there for a while.
Still asleep.
So this Protez boy must have some serious power in those shots.
Because he was spamming that 1-2, boom, boom, dropping it, boom, boom, and then he
every time.
It was like a shovel left uppercut, like something like that knocked him out or whatever. Came up from under the arm, and Lee it's the shots, they don't have to be necessarily hard, it's the shots you don't see coming.
Yeah.
And I just feel like he was, okay, I downloaded the 1-2, he's not going to hit me with that. And then he just, boom, he's, okay.
And Leech was out cold.
Out.
Dude, it was an impressive win. Really not a lot to say. I guess we should have looked at the odds and
you said it earlier. This is only his 3rd fight in the UFC.
3rd UFC fight.
So it's like we don't have that much to go off of, but you have to, in this sport, you have to pay attention to everyone at any level.
You really do.
Because was the Leech, was he ranked?
Was he ranked? I don't think he was. He might have, if he was, he'd have been like, I think he might have been like 15 tops.
Well, because when he fought Hamzat, I don't think Hamzat was sniffing anybody that was ranked, and then he beats Li Jingliang, goes to Kevin Holland, and now he's talking about a title fight.
Yeah, I don't really remember if he was ranked now. It doesn't say on the website. I think UFC shows their prior rank to the fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, he was not ranked.
Well then, we made the wrong bet opening off, or starting off. And if you guys want to follow our wrong bets or our right ones, go to DraftKings.com/CCMMA for
CCMMA
for all your sports betting, not just UFC.
It may or may not work.
Oh, well, it 100% works. I don't know that, but I'm banking it. We made it for a reason.
I would like to believe that it works, but the fact that it might not work is honestly just too funny for me to even think about. So
DraftKings.com/CCMMA. Anyways.
Only 4 of 4. That page is not found.
So, your girl, shout out to your girl, Mackenzie Dern, she lost on Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah, Fionn Davies or some shit.
Well,
shout out to Fionn Davies. Well, you're talking about the number 1 girl in jiu-jitsu versus a huge prodigy in Mackenzie Dern. And she looked good in more than one way. It just didn't pan out her way. And then shout out to Craig Jones submitting Gabby Garcia with the rear naked. Something that everybody knew was going to happen, but
I mean, they're doing the OnlyFans collab.
He had to get a heel hook for that to happen.
Okay.
Yeah. No. It's not going down. Anyways, back to the sport that we cover.
Yeah, that's yeah. On to the next fight. One that I thought was going to be over within a minute, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. Went the distance. Tai Tuivasa versus Jairzinho Biggie Boy Rosenstruik.
Great pronunciation.
I try, you know what I'm saying? This fight was odd to me. It wasn't a bad fight. It was just not expected. They were both very cautious and kind of tempered, I guess you could say, in their approach to one another. They didn't swang and bang until maybe the last 10, 15 seconds. Tai kind of brought out that usual. Tai was hitting some heavy leg shots for a bit, but he was really just kind of getting pieced up from the outside by Biggie Boy.
So if you're Tai's coach, and this is his 4th loss in a row, 3rd, 4th,
4, I think.
So if you're his coach, and you lost 3 in a row, but you are for the people love you, they know you. You go out there on the press conference, you wear those big black anal beads.
That's his 5th loss in a row.
5th?
Since the Derek Lewis win, he is 0-5.
That's insane.
It's so sad, dude.
You're still a man of the people. People want to see you fight. I don't think they'll cut you, but you are on the verge of. I mean, look at Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson has the longest loss record of all time. Beat out BJ Penn. Tony Ferguson is a prime example. 8, 9.
Oh my god.
Because I think BJ Penn was 8, and I think Tony was 8, and they had tied. So it's 9 losses in a row. So it's not as bad as it could be. But
yeah, if you can keep the fans interested in you, you can stay around for longer than most with the similar record.
Look at Chuck Liddell. Look at all these guys that just don't want to hang it up. And I'm not saying Tai should hang it up. He's still fairly young. But when you're talking about the upper echelon of the heavyweight division, they all hit hard. Losses happen monsters. For sure. If you're Tai's coach, you go, hey man, we're on the verge of this many losses in a row. You might not want to go out there and swing and bang. Okay, I get you. 100% I get you. When you fight the likes of Volkov and you get pieced up, when you're fighting Jairzinho Rosenstruik and you get pieced up, these guys are just a lot more technically sound. When you saw Francis Ngannou take the fight to Rosenstruik and blitz him and bum rush him, what happened? He got knocked out in 10 seconds.
Fucked.
They are not.
You got to make it dirty.
You have to make it gritty. Mm-hmm. And
you're in there and swang and bang.
That's what you do.
These technical fights are not your forte. Don't try to just stand there and, duck and weave and piece it. No.
That's just not your game. Get
in there.
Who are we to tell you that? Your coaches should be telling you that. They should be like, hey, this is our best chance. This is our easiest route to a win right now. We're not going to – you're good. You're really good, Tai. You're not kickboxing for 2 decades going into this and then starting your MMA career. You're known for that guy. He pushed Derek Lewis up against the cage and just boom.
You got to make it dirty, dude. Get in there. Scrap it out. Bang it out. That's you. This fight Saturday was not a Tai Tuivasa fight.
No. And I'm so glad I don't have to do a shoey on the show. But
probably, yeah.
I digress.
But there is a little controversy with this fight as well because the official scorecard shows a split decision for Jairzinho, which it really 100% should have been Unanimous.
Yeah. Well, somebody had it 30-27 tie.
30-27 tie.
What are you watching?
It's insane.
Did you know that they can't look at monitors? The judges?
I think so, actually.
They can't look at monitors. They have to watch the fight as it is, which is bonkers to me because there's a cage in the way.
There's a whole cage right there, and they're probably what? Are they like right at the cage, or are
they're right at the cage, and then that means that the thing is like right here, so the floor is right here. So if they're right in front of you, awesome. But if they're on the other side, and you're like, what are you gonna do? How can you see what's going on to a T? You know, like, oh, he's got his back, but it's like he's punching back, he's hand fighting, he's countering, like.
Yeah.
It's just broken. It's broken, dude.
What we see on TV is not what the judges see.
At all.
Regardless, I don't think anyone in their right mind would have rated that 30-27 tie, no matter where you're sitting in the stands.
They need to be investigated, dude. All of them.
Dude, that's insane, man.
All of them.
Yeah. Our boy Ty couldn't pull it out.
So I'm up one, right?
Did you pick Rosenstrike?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we only differed on the Hooker fight.
I picked Rosenstrike.
Okay. No, we both. No, I picked. Never mind. Sorry, I picked Rosenstrike too. The only one we did differ on was Hooker.
Because we were talking about how Ty was a CCMMA favorite, but neither of us picked him.
Rosenstrike, yeah. Yeah. So we're still tied here. It's about to be over. The bragging rights are won in the next fight. Do you have anything else to say about this one?
You got to give Ty a better fight. You got to give him somebody there's this new breed of heavyweight that's coming in. Even if we saw Alex Pereira go up to, heavyweight, he is a high caliber striker.
Yeah, they're getting the heavyweights there was a lull, I think, for a bit in the heavyweight division.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing, like we said, there's like a resurgence. There's something coming. There's this new wave of heavyweight coming, and it's not the same thing. Let's take a quick peek at the heavyweight rankings. I don't know who you give him after that. I mean, I doubt you give him someone in the top 10. You're not giving him anyone in the top 10, really.
What was Rosenstrike? Or what is?
He is now. Well, it hasn't updated on UFC.com. He was 12. He's still sitting at 12 on the website.
I mean, come on, man.
Outside of 10, you got Derek Lewis, Alexander Romanov, Marcos Rogero de Lima, and Rodrigo Nascimento. I don't know how to say that last
Beautiful,
name,
beautiful. De Lima. Give him De Lima. I think that's who Curtis Blades beat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, sure. Give him De Lima. The downfall of
Ty
is so sad. De Lima's the one that Derek Lewis just like
flying need?
Just threw some shit. See if it would hit.
Good Lord.
Yeah, why not?
I'm not a matchmaker, and I'm so glad I don't have to be, because I would set these guys with somebody who is like not top 15. They'd be like, "Hey man, what the fuck?" I'd be like, "Oh, you think you're still top 15?" Which
you need to win, Ty.
You gotta win. So hope the best.
Derek Lewis rematch.
Sure, I'd like that.
Derek Lewis is on a winning. No, he lost to Almeida, but he's 2-1 in his last 3. So it's not. It's like.
Yeah. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, PFL's looking like a real nice spot for Tai Tuavasa.
So sad.
Speaking of PFL, did you hear about Marvin Vettori and Brendan Allen?
I heard there was a scuffle or a fight at the PFL event.
Brendan Allen, pow, pow, pow. Just start straight stole on him, charged in. Marvin Vettori had a hurt arm.
And doesn't he still knock him out?
No.
I heard he put Brendan Allen down.
So there was a video, and Brendan Allen, pow, 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 rushes in, and then it immediately like breaks off, and like he's getting held back or whatever. So, and then it happened at a PFL event. Did you hear what Dana White said?
No.
He's like, if it was at a PFL event, it's probably fight of the night.
God damn it, dude.
Anyways, on to the next, dude. Shout out to Ty, CCMMA favorite. We're sending you our best regards, dude.
We want you to go on a winning streak, you know.
Something. Give me something.
That's why I got the flag up, dude.
Give me something, dude.
I should have rocked his Aboriginal flag that he was wearing. I had to Google what that flag was because I was like, Australia has 3 flags.
Do they really?
This is the main one.
Uh-huh.
The one he wore was like the Aboriginal flag, and then I don't remember what the third one was because I just wasn't looking for it, but I digress. On to the next fight. Number 5th ranked Mateusz Gamrot versus the 11th ranked Dan Hooker at lightweight. Fight of the night. Mythical fighter has been unlocked. Blonde Hooker, who is currently, after Saturday night, on a nice little winning streak.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Like, I love Dan Hooker, and I love his fighting style. He always brings the fight. Was Gamrot just not ready for a fight?
I don't know. I mean, Gamrot looked pretty good in the round 1.
Right. Cut him.
Wins round 1.
Cut him twice.
Cut him. Round 2 gets scrappier. Dan Hooker probably wins round 2. You could argue Gamrot. Mm-hmm. That was the closest round. And then Hooker, I think, pretty clearly won round 3.
Well, he just kind of took off with it.
He really did. He just started piecing him up. He just started. I mean, it was a split decision. I think that's probably fair.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Hooker, man, he looked really good. He dealt with the takedown. He stopped a couple takedowns. He got back up from the takedowns, and he was just landing clean strikes on Gamrot the rest of the fight. And it was dirty. It was scrappy. It was probably what Ty needed to do, really.
So I respect all of these city kickboxing guys because their pandemic was much more severe than ours. If you got caught on the streets, you were doing some kind of time.
Yeah, their lockdown in Australia or New Zealand was no joke.
So in the past, when you've seen Dan Hooker take these fights with wrestling heavy dudes, or dudes that you might think, like with the Michael Chandler one, his hands were down, and Michael just went boom. So when you're talking about fights like that, he's training out of his garage.
Yeah.
He's even said it himself. He's bumping into his washer. And I just think it's hilarious now because he's actually getting some good quality training in. And you're seeing this guy, he can wrestle, dude. Is it his
defensive wrestling was solid.
Is it his strong suit? Maybe not.
No.
But you're talking about Gamrot, somebody who was supposed to belaw this kid. He was supposed
really expected that, obviously. That's what I picked, unfortunately.
Well, you can't go wrong when you're talking about a wrestle-heavy guy because that's their bread and butter. That's what they're going to do. They'll hump a leg in a second to not engage how they should or how fans think they should. So this is not only is it a good standout performance from Dan Hooker, this is a fight that we've never seen Gamrot in at all.
No, this is a big time win for Hooker.
Yep.
Gamrot was on a bit of a tear. Well, I'm not going to say a tear. His loss to Beneil Dariush was not too long ago, but he's beaten a lot of other great kickboxers. Fiziev, Dan Hooker, man. And then there's the I love this shit, man. He's getting his butt cut up, and I love this shit, man. Dude looks just
pitiful.
He's insane.
He's insane.
He's in a new era.
He's insane.
New era of Dan Hooker, dude. It was a great fight. One fight of the night. Who do you want to see the Hangman fight next? That's top 5. That was a top 5 opponent.
You know who I want to see him fight next?
Who?
I want to see him fight Conor McGregor.
I mean, I guess turn around for everybody. I get it.
Imagine the troll job that it would be for Dan Hooker to swipe that fight from Michael Chandler after Michael beat him.
I know. God almighty, dude.
Or just to stay active, Chandler. Or for real, if I'm not playing around, Charlie Olives.
I think anyone in the top 5, there's 3 really good fights there for Dan Hooker. One of them is obviously is locked into Alex Volkanovski.
Mm-hmm.
But Charlie Olives and Dustin Poirier are right there in the top 5. Dustin Poirier, we don't know. He may or may not be.
I don't think he would take that fight.
He probably wouldn't.
He climbed that mountain. That was masterclass. If you guys,
it would be a great fight though.
If you guys want to see the barnest of burners, go watch Dustin Poirier Dan Hooker 1.
That's the fight that
it was in the apex.
Everyone's like, Dan Hooker lost his soul in that fight. He's not the same. Well, he found it. He found his soul somewhere, and he's proven it. Give him another top 5 guy. Let's say Dan Hooker goes out and knocks out Charlie Olives.
Good Lord.
Is he next does he get a title shot after that?
Is Arman gonna fight Islam?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
So many questions in the air about this whole division.
It's a lot of weirdness.
I don't want to see Dustin Poirier fight anybody but Colby Covington. I'd like maybe Oliveira at 170, but whatever. And then Conor. Who else is fun for Dustin Poirier?
Yeah, Dustin Poirier, I think he's at the point where, fun. Dan Hooker would be fun.
For who? Not Dustin. He'd be like, fuck this.
Dude, that would be a banger. If their first one's a banger, I expect the second one to be just as big of a banger. But I do expect a big fight coming for Dan Hooker.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a nice little co-main somewhere. Mm-hmm. Or even co-main. I think that's the only place to put him after that fight. Give him another top 5 guy. Let's see what happens.
He's on his way, dude.
See where he's ranked after this fight, because it's like I said, it's still not updated.
Mm-hmm.
Or I have not seen an updated list. But
shout out to Gamrot for fighting 6 places down, though. That's something he didn't have to do, and a lot of the guys in the lightweight division are scared and don't want to lose they don't want to lose a fighter. They don't want to lose their ranking. That guy was like, sure, I'll fight Dan Hooker.
I'll take him.
Yeah, and then it didn't pay off. But he put on a good fight. He put on a real good fight.
Even he was very active too. Like, it wasn't just like, it was a good fight from both men.
Yeah.
It was a split decision for a reason. It was a close fight. Dan Hooker just kind of, I don't know. I don't know the word I'm looking for. He just kind of out-hearted him by the end. Like,
just edged it out. Yeah.
He just edged it out.
Mm-hmm.
Gooned it out.
Gooned it out.
Just gooned it out.
But that's all I got on that.
Fight.
Yeah, that's all I got
Great
on that
fight.
one. Shout out to Dan Hooker and his tattoos and his new hairdo.
Dude, he looks like a damn Call of Duty character.
Oh, 100%.
That chest tattoo is a Call of Duty tattoo. Like, this man
looks
insane. But you're right. We're on to the next one, the co-main event. Kai Kara France. If we have Biggie Boy, we should call him Little Boy, because that's what he looks like. Don't tell him I said that. He would knock me out. Dude, versus Steve Erceg, the Jerry Seinfeld.
The Jerry Seinfeld, yeah.
Of the flyweight division.
That's funny.
I just fucking starched this guy round 1.
Wow.
So when I watched it live, when he went down, I obviously knew he got knocked out, but I didn't realize it was as bad. But there's a picture of him, like, you can tell he had to have been out for a second or two.
Yeah.
Just a nasty knockout by Kai Kara France. Probably gets another title shot off of that, maybe.
Him and Pantoja have history, apparently.
Yeah, apparently so. I didn't know that. This is Kai's chance to get that title. I think Pantoja is probably a better fight for him than Moreno was.
Yeah, I'd agree. Pantoja not to allude too fast, but like, you have a fighter in Duplessis who, after the first round, he looks gassed. Fourth round looks miserable. And so it's like, you have Pantoja, same thing, like, third round looks miserable and just still like sticks it out, keeps going. So
Pantoja just like, he is on the nitrous in the first round.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then he's just done. But yeah, like you said, he keeps going. He ekes out the rest of the rounds. I want to see Kai Kara-France versus Pantoja. There's really not a lot to say here. I mean,
he did what he was supposed to do. He wasn't the town favorite. Where all his homies, all Izzy and Dan, they're getting all this love, and then he goes against Steve Erceg, who is a hometown hero of Perth. You know, everybody's chanting his name instead of Kai's, and Kai's is like, okay.
Fuck it. I'll knock you out.
Well, if you're with me, awesome. If you're against me, awesome. And either way, it's energy, and I'm going to use it. And damn it, he used it. So shout out to Kai Kara-France, dude.
He's what is it? 13 first round finishes, 12 first round finishes. That's insane.
He's not a boring cat, bro. He's not a boring fighter.
At flyweight.
He's got power. Dude. He's got power, and he's got a good nutritionist and everything. So, which they're in the UFC, they all do. If they stick to their meal plans, they all do.
Dude.
He doesn't look like a 45er cut into 125. He looks pretty small in respect.
He's a smaller dude. Yeah, no, like he's got a small frame. He's not lanky. He looks like that's his size.
Shorter than most of his opponents.
Yeah, he's always a smaller dude.
Yeah. Shout out to him, dude. A CCMMA favorite for real.
Dude, oh wait, no.
If he was, you think he does that shit in the mirror?
Hell yeah.
Like if I looked on my ring cam and I saw that shit,
I bet he got home that night, butt ass naked, hard as a rock. Just in a full body mirror.
Oh God, good for him though. What a good co-main, what a good fight to set us up for something that I thought was going to be a slobber knocker. Well, something I thought was going to be an Apple computer versus a Texas Instrument. That's what I thought this fight was going to be.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty good analogy still. The Texas computer is just more bulky and just fucking.
If you throw it at that Mac, it's going to break.
Enough time. Dude, Dricus du Plessis is, to me, the sloppiest.
Clumsiest. Unorthodox, yeah.
That just brute forces his way to victory.
It doesn't make sense.
I felt that way ever since, like, I remember watching him fight Darren Till, and it was just like the sloppiest fucking shit.
Gets it done.
He just willed his way to victory. Dricus du Plessis is insane. I mean, how many fights? He's won every fight he's had in the UFC.
Mm-hmm. Undefeated in the UFC.
Undefeated.
It's like done something that not many people do. You know, when it comes to submitting Darren Till. Shout out to Darren Till. He probably doesn't give a fuck. Lays him flat on his belly, dude. And Robert Whittaker, R.I.P. R.I.P. to Robert. TKO, if you want to be like that.
No.
But, man. And then Izzy submits Izzy. Has Izzy ever been submitted? No. I think he was like, yeah. Which, what a weird post-fight press conference. Not even just the interview, the press conference. He's like,
I don't even know. I didn't watch the press conference.
I made history tonight. And Izzy's like, I made history tonight. I've never been subbed before, so I'm making history. I'm like, okay.
What good history.
What a twist that you're putting on that, but whatever.
Izzy's yeah. Let's talk about the fight.
Sure.
Izzy looked like Izzy for most of the fight. Like, he looked defensively pretty sound.
Mm-hmm.
Dricus would blitz him, would get some shots in, but for the most part, Izzy was doing Izzy things.
Mm-hmm.
Round 2, Dricus wins because of the takedown, I would say, and some control and whatnot. But other than that, Izzy looked pretty good. Izzy looked pretty good in that round up until that very last, 30 seconds. And Dricus just, blitzes in the 1-2, gets Izzy stumbling, and then just gets his back, and it's over.
So there was one instance where Dricus comes in. I don't know if he slipped. I don't know if he got rocked. I don't think it was a rock. I think he slipped. He's on his hands and knees, and Izzy's just backing away. And Dricus just ankle picks him, and Izzy falls. I'm like, oh, great. The sloppiest accidental takedown of all time. And then... Go ahead.
Dricus's power has to just be out of this world.
Oh, dude.
This dude has to be just obscenely strong.
And so you're in there, and you're seeing these sloppy combinations. This one just dinks Izzy in the head, and you see it go like that, and you're like, oh, well, hey, man, what the hell? And then it kind of like he's like, no, I'm good. And he Max Holloways.
He gets the point, and then just...
boom, boom, 3 as Izzy's like turning his back, grabs him, takes him down. Less than 10 seconds later, it's
over.
Hooks in, got the choke. I think it was a hand in hand.
It was just over.
Palm to palm, whatever you want to call it. And Izzy taps in front of his parents. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, dude. Go to sleep. And I know it's easy for me to say, my parents are there. I'm going to sleep. I'm going out of my shit. That was fourth round.
With
less than a minute 30 left. Something like that. I'm going
38.
I'm going to sleep, dude. I'm sorry,
man.
Brother.
The return of StyleBender, not the way he wanted it to go at all.
No, it was railroaded.
We have a new African king in the UFC, and his name is Dricus du Plessis.
DDP. So a lot has been made of this loss, and a lot of people, and I know it's just online trolls, whatever. I'm not trying to give them too much credit. They're saying Izzy was never that good.
You're insane.
It's just insane to me. Or like, there's one thing between being washed or being like fizzling out, and never being that good.
Let me soapbox for a second.
Sure.
UFC fans are some of the stupidest people on the planet. Okay? They are so extremely, what have you done for me lately?
Oh yeah, fair weather.
They just forget about everything that all these men have done.
Mm-hmm.
You're washed, you suck, you were never good. That's insane.
Some of the most toxic takes ever. Now,
you don't have to like Izzy to understand that man walked the middleweight division for years.
Twice over.
And yes, his style is not sometimes lends to boring fights.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like Floyd Mayweather. He's very good at the counterpunching, the defense, to stay on his toes, keeping the range. That's not everybody's favorite style to watch. I get it. But this man has been in some classics. Kelvin Gastelum.
He humped Paulo Costa in the middle of the ring. Who does that? Who does that?
He beat Robert Whittaker twice. Knocked him out once.
The first one. So you agree there is a difference between being washed and being never that good. Do you agree that he's washed?
I wouldn't say he's washed. He probably is on the down slope of his career, obviously.
Is he a shell of his former self?
No. He looked good in that fight.
He looked all right. He had his moments.
Yeah, it wasn't like he didn't get walked for 3 rounds.
Or 4 or 5.
He won 2 rounds and got caught in 4th.
That shit. Dricus, a lot of people said Dricus was up 2-1. That's what DC had. And DC's right there. That's what a lot of the fans had. So
I think
I don't know.
I had it 2-1 for Izzy. 1-3. Personally. Izzy has a lot of hate. He gets a lot of hate. People do not like him.
And I think it's all mic work. I think, you have the Anderson Silva wasn't the most exciting fight. The Yoel Romero definitely wasn't.
No.
And so, I can't really, what was another boring fight of his? He beat Robert Whittaker twice.
He's the only man to beat Alex Pereira in the UFC.
Yeah, knocked him out. And
they owed him.
Either of those 2 fights, right? That he gets knocked out, gets finished in the 5th round. All right, was that a boring fight? No, he's moving, he's sticking. The second one, he knocks him out. Like, you're talking about, okay, did the Yoel Romero fight ruin his career? No. Are you an idiot?
People are insane, dude. They are just insane.
What we do here is a show. So if I have a rough take, like I had a parlay last year in 2023, it was Sean O'Malley, Sean Strickland, and Colby Covington. In no universe were those 3 even supposed to be going for a title. I bet on 2 out of 3. I bet on 3 out of 3, but only 2 out of 3 did it.
You got the money on 2.
I do this to troll. I do this not to control completely, but like if it's a show, I'm gonna spice it up. But there are some of these people out there that really feel like
they buy into the crap they feed, dude. It's insane,
bro. It is insane.
To say Izzy is not a great fighter
was never as good as he was supposed to be, or he never was really that good anyways.
You're smoking crack.
What were you watching? Where?
You do not. Admitting someone is good and liking them are two separate things. You can dislike someone and realize they're great. Mm-hmm. We're not big fans of Bilal Muhammad.
Who?
He's clearly. Did you already forget? He's clearly a great fighter.
He's not number 2 to GSP.
No.
And that's not any of our liking or not liking bias.
He's maybe one of the greatest wrestle fuckers of all time.
Oh yeah.
Just hugs motherfuckers today.
Slams too.
He definitely slammed Leon.
Slammed Leon, which that you could say it was an off Leon. Whatever. We're going all over the place just to say, you put some fucking respect on Adesanya's name.
UFC fans are the worst. They have the worst takes I've ever seen in the comments. And you know what's crazy? I'm going to call it right now. 2 years from now, 3 years from now, whenever he does decide to retire, all of those fans will be like, oh my God, he was so great. I miss him. Fuck off, dude. You're full of shit.
His illustrious career.
Yeah, these guys are insane. People, I think the thing now is people just, everyone wants to have a hot take. Everyone wants to be the guy that has this hot take that pops off or something.
So you think a lot of it is rage baiting?
I think so.
Like they're just saying it to get clicks or likes or replies or
they just want to look like a smart dude.
What's genuine anymore?
Nothing on social media.
What's genuine?
You know what's genuine? The Couch Casual MMA podcast.
Oh, 100%. We will always be genuine. And you know, the dislike that we have for most of the fighters, I'm telling you, across the board, it's usually the same opinion anywhere that you look. Not many people like Aljo. Whatever. That doesn't take away from Aljo. Not many people know Bilal Muhammad by name. That doesn't take away from Bilal or his skills. No. It shouldn't. But when these guys are going out and they're putting their, I don't want to be like that, their lives on the line.
They are.
And so I'll always put respect on their name, but I'm going to have my own opinion, and so is everybody else. But some of these opinions are shitty.
Trash.
What's next for Izzy?
I really don't even know, man. I don't know what he wants to do. I think a move to light heavyweight doesn't make much sense right now. It could have if you won this fight.
There's a good fight out there for him.
At what, middleweight?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about, is it a light heavyweight or coming down to middleweight?
Mm-hmm.
Yuri Prohaska?
Yeah, dude.
It would be fun.
That would be insane.
Where do you put that? That's a co-main event?
Yeah.
I would be cool with that.
Put him on the co-main to Alex and Khalil.
Ooh, that'd be spicy. Let's take a peek at the middleweight rankings because there's no reason to discuss DP's next fight. It's Sean Strickland.
It's got to be Sean Strickland.
It's Sean Strickland.
Hang on, wait. Before, as you're doing that, if Alex Pereira was like, nah, fuck that, I want DDP. Does he leap over Sean Strickland?
I think he would.
You think he would if he wanted that? And
it's not even because I like Alex. I just think if you look at it from Dana White's perspective and money perspective, I think that's just a big headline. That's a big pay-per-view to make.
Alex is a star, dude.
Alex is a major star, maybe one of the biggest stars they have right now. Everyone likes Alex Pereira. He knocks people out.
Whether you like Izzy or not, you're not shooting him down the rankings. He's not fighting anything below 5. I don't think that's fair. No. I don't think that's fair.
But if you really just look at the top 5 of middleweight, you have Jared Cannonier, who he's beaten.
Yep.
Nasruddin Imavov, which I'll be honest with you, I don't feel like I even know who that is.
You've seen him a couple times.
I'm sure I have. I'm sure it's someone I've seen.
Imavov, Evloev, all these guys that
it's hard to keep them up.
Right.
Robert Whittaker 3. I don't see a third match between them happening.
Please no. How about the winner of Robert Whittaker, Hamzat?
Sure. Why not?
Because we know that's going to be Hamzat.
Think so?
No.
Marvin Torres at 6. Brendan Allen at 7.
I don't want to see maybe Brendan Allen, but I think I don't know what's going on with him and Marvin, but I would like to see Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori or Brendan Allen versus Izzy. Because you're not. He's already done that. He did the dirty work for DDP.
Yeah, I feel like Izzy's at kind of like a stage of his career where it's probably only going to be big name fighters that he's fighting, even if it's not for titles. Even if he never fights for a title again, it's going to be like money fights.
This was his 12th straight title fight.
It's going to be insane not to see him in a pay-per-view main event.
That's crazy. That's crazy to even think about.
It's insane. I really don't know what's next for him. You're not wrong. Like middleweight, I don't know what match makes sense other than, maybe Robert Whittaker or Hamzat.
Hamzat's the only fresh meat in that division.
It really is.
That could be on the level of Adesanya. Okay, cool. Give him Imavov. What was his name?
Nasruddin Imavov.
Yeah. All right. Give him to him.
That's not that's not going to happen. Imavov versus Adesanya is not a fight they're going to make.
That's not a fight that most people can spell.
No.
So I don't know. I have no idea what's next for Izzy. I know Yuri Prohaska could be fun. I don't know
that would be a pretty fun fight.
I don't know what Yuri would look like at 185. That's kind of scary to think about.
It really is. He's a big dude.
He's a big guy.
Big dude at light heavyweight.
He's a big dude. So
I almost can't picture him getting down to 185.
Not without looking like death or being on death's door.
No, it's gonna be odd to see. It's just I don't really know what to make of it.
On to something that I just wanted to bring up before we stop or before we end. How do you feel about Khalil Roundtree versus Alex Pereira?
So, like, the casual in me's pretty excited. Like, just knowing the fact that Khalil Roundtree his knockouts, his finishes are just...
God.
There was a meme that went around. It was like everyone's signature move, and Khalil Roundtree has literally just said wins by aggravated assault. And it's accurate. Like, that's how that dude wins. But when I got excited, I did forget that he popped for a PED.
He was supposed to face Jamal Hill.
And was supposed to face Jamal Hill. The fight, I don't know what happened. I don't know where this came from.
How about Jamal Hill Izzy at 205?
I'd watch that.
That'd be a
fun fight.
That'd be an all right one.
Where is light heavyweight? Like Ankalaev got screwed here. It's very clearly that, logically speaking, standings-wise, Ankalaev is probably the guy that should have gotten Pereira.
Is he saying no behind the scenes though? Everybody's like, not saying you're included in this, but everybody's like, oh, it should have been Ankalaev. He had to have gotten that call. They don't just call suspended Khalil Roundtree. They don't just call number 6 or 7. Like, there had to be calls made for everybody in between, because that's just asinine, bro. They offer you the fight, and if you're like, oh, well, not on this date, can we do it 7 months later? It's like, no, we're going to go on this date. Are you ready or are you not ready? So apparently Ankalaev wasn't ready. Suck it up.
Ankalaev has a fight in October.
Does he?
Which I didn't realize, but he tweeted that he's pretty upset about Alex Pereira calling out Dricus. He was like, oh, you're 40 pounds over.
That's his former belt.
Let me find who this next fight. He's got Rakic at 308. UFC 308.
308's a badass card, dude. I know we're 3 cards away, but that's a badass card, dude.
Dude, there's when's the Jamal Hill, or not Jamal Hill, but what is the Roundtree and Pereira
306? 306, 306, 307?
It's gotta be 306 is Sean O'Malley.
Is it the Sphere?
Yeah, that's the Sphere in a couple of weeks. Not too far off.
Not too far off, dude.
307 is gonna be Pereira, Roundtree.
So active, bro. This is what I love. Being active while you're here.
Your coach is back on old 307.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's got Joaquin Buckley.
I hope he beats the brakes off that dude.
Hey, man, 307 looks good. Let's take a quick glance at 306. What do we got? It's a couple bangers on here, too.
Mexican Independence Day, dude.
Marab, Alex Grasso versus Valentina. Finish the trilogy out. Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez.
We'll see. We'll see on that one.
I know.
We'll see.
Got some good shit coming down the pipe.
We always do, like you said at the beginning of the top of the show, there's a resurgence after 3-0 or 3-0. 301 didn't 301 didn't even happen. I don't even know.
301 never even was I don't even think that was a thing.
I think they just skipped it because they knew how bad it was going to be.
Like,
but
what is this?
Ever since 300, for the last 4, the England one could have been better. 304 could have been better.
304 was on paper should have been good, and it just I don't know.
Shout out to Patty the Batty for making that the card that it was. We're back, dude. That's all we can say. We're back.
We're back. The fall looks good for the UFC.
Mm-hmm. End of the year always ends in a bang.
Couch Casual is going to be here for everything.
Oh, dude.
That you need.
Everything. Maybe not some fight nights. Maybe not 24/7 news. But you best bet for the pay-per-views. See, you're not getting us any. You're getting us for the PLEs. You're getting us for the PPVs.
Not the PLEs, no. Premium live events.
You're getting us for what we want to cover, and that's the major things in this sport. We could do
big deals.
We could do one championship. Ours isn't Couch Casuals UFC. It's Couch Casuals MMA. But
y'all get us up to some like hundreds of views. We'll take a look at some other shit. We need views.
We do. He's not lying. We need to figure out how to do that because that's on us, not them. Tell your friends. Shout out. Link.
Share it.
Link is always in our bios. The links to our social media. All that jazz. We're getting.
Comment. Subscribe.
Hit that bell for notifications.
Hit the bell.
Whatever you feel like you want to do and need to do for us, we need to do the same for you. So
we'll like and subscribe your channels, but y'all ain't got none.
Yeah, y'all ain't got none. Shout out to Alex Pereira. Shout out to the UFC. Shout out to Dana White, Hunter Campbell, Sean Shelby. Shout out to all the casuals out there, our friends, our family. Shout out to everybody. Just if I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. But that's it. I'm your host, Robert Dylan Vasquez, always here with my lovely, beautiful, sexy hubby of a partner.
It's your boy, Kate. It's Kyle DiOrio. I was going to shout out Casey O'Neill. My name is Casey O'Neill now.
Your name is Casey O'Neill, one of my finest co-hosts I've ever had. Anyways, we're the Couch Casuals.
We love you. We're out.